My 3D printer isn't even square, and other problems I encountered. Hello and welcome to another video. In the previous video I reviewed the excellent Anycubic Mega S, which I scored for just 150 Australian dollars. My observations are based off that, but if you have a 3D printer there is no doubt you may come across the same issues. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments if you have encountered any of these problems or if you have some helpful tips. Well, let's get started. First up, dodgy filament. There are a few things wrong with this one, starting with this seller's listing. What we have here is a beautiful bronze colour they call gold, similar to one of the metallic filament colours I've used before. What you actually get is this yellow gold. And here it is. Nowhere near as nice as you would expect. The worst part is it looks okay on film, but in reality it's more of a dark orange and not as luminescent. I complained, but it wasn't any use. After multiple back and forths, the seller still didn't seem to understand that their listing is misleading. You click on gold and it shows the wrong picture. In the end they offered me a $3 refund, but I just ignored them. Worse than that, it comes out like this. Initially I thought my nozzle was blocked or the temperature was too high. Nope, just dodgy filament. I ended up using it for prototype prints. Next up, filament derailing. I was having intermittent failures. It might go for 15 minutes, then all of a sudden the filament stops coming out and it would be printing nothing in the air. It turns out that when you remove the filament, normally it comes out like this, but sometimes it has a knob of plastic on the end and it pulls out the little round filament guide. I had absolutely no idea that there was supposed to be a thing in there. It guides the filament into the center groove of the extruder. Without it, filament can derail and it just gets mashed up by the rollers. With the other one missing on the floor somewhere, the solution? I 3D printed a replacement. Spare parts. It just makes sense to have at least one spare roll of filament on hand, but how about a spare nozzle and limit switches? I had 2 nozzles clog up one week, then 2 limit switches break the next. Fortunately it's an easy fix, just stock up on spares and keep them handy. Bed leveling. Leveling is necessary to ensure your 3D print has the best chance of adhering to the build plate and coming out right. Make sure to clean the nozzle first. If there's melted filament stuck there, it's not going to work. You are supposed to adjust the bed at each corner using a sheet of paper. I prefer to use a 0.1mm feeler gauge. This is a good method, however there is an easier way. For every print that does not need a brim or a raft for adhesion, you can do a skirt, which is essentially a ring around your object. Check its adhesion. If it's too thin or easily comes off on one corner, adjust as necessary. You can stop the print and start again just to be sure, or just do a quick adjustment on the fly. An even better, more precise method is using Paul Davidson's bed level stripes test. The link to download it is in the description. It's simple and quick. Combined with the skirt, you can check for adhesion and uniformity in about 11 minutes. I keep a copy on my SD card for when it's needed. You can see on the front right that the test print lifted a little too easily, so I turned the knob counterclockwise about a quarter turn. Okay, my bed is now level, but there's a problem. My printer isn't level. There's about a 2mm difference on each side. That means the left spring is compressed too much and the right one not enough. I noticed an inconsistency with the position of the slotted holes on both sides of the printer frame. I loosened everything on both sides and tried adjusting it to no avail. Basically, with multiple pressed steel parts bolted together, the printer isn't designed for perfection. The only real option is adjusting the limit switches. After a few attempts adjusting and going through the bed leveling process again, it's much closer to how it should be, and I'm happy with that. One final thing I'll mention before ending the video is be careful when leveling. Don't go the easy route and turn off the motors. As soon as you do that, the Z-axis stepper motors are out of sync and any measurements will be incorrect. The two lead screws on the left and right have their own limit switches. When you home the print head, they both wind down until the switch is triggered. After this, they are paired and kept in sync for the duration of the print. One quick extra before we go, your printer bed itself may not be square. Mine has about a 0.08mm bow in it. Is this an actual problem though? Well, as far as I can tell from many successful PLA prints, it isn't something to worry about, unless perhaps it's a more extreme bow. Keep in mind that printer rails can also be bent, so the only accurate way to check this is with a straight edge and a feeler gauge. While we are on the subject, this is a dial gauge mount I designed. I'm undecided on how good it is for bed leveling, but the links are in the description if you're interested. Again, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.